I want to ask you a question. How many years until you plan on selling your silver? 1 year? 5 years? A decade? Never? I ask this because I think a lot of people underestimate silver's true value and especially don't see its potential in a long-term perspective. Even if, in a perfect world, silver does hit triple digits in the next few years, selling then would be selling yourself extremely short because silver's true potential is in the next decade or so. Here's an article saying silver demand in 3 key sectors are expected to nearly double in the next decade. So if you're someone that will throw in the towel, not patient enough till then, you might seriously regret it. Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. Folks, if you are new, welcome. I post daily silver-related videos. It's your one-stop shop. You will never miss a beat. So click subscribe, like this video if you do like the video. And I found an interesting article that was posted a few days ago titled Silver Demand in 3 Key Sectors Expected to Nearly Double in the Next Decade. I thought this was very interesting because I like how they look at the macro, right? Not the micro, not talking about even just next year, right? Even though that is still very interesting and important information, such as record-breaking silver supply deficits, but even given the bigger picture, because I always say, I don't plan on selling for another 15, 20 years, like if you're someone who is very impatient and is just looking to make a quick penny, I genuinely think you will be kicking yourself in the butt later on. But given that, I will link this article in the description. I also wanted to mention some silver, gold, and platinum deals for you guys, so let's check these out. This week's gold, silver, and platinum deals are the 2.5 gram gold Volcambi bar, $25 over melt. We also have the 5 gram Pamp Swiss Platinum Bar, $25 over melt. And last but not least, we have the 2023 Silver Kangaroos, only $310 over spot. If you guys want to purchase or take advantage of these deals, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Silver Slayer sent you. New deals every single Monday. Let's get back to the video. And by the way, folks, I really do want you guys to answer that question I asked in the introduction. How many years until you are willing to sell? Have you ever thought about that? Or even what price you're willing to throw in the towel? A lot of people don't think about that. We just aimlessly buy silver without thinking about the opposite side of things. And it's called a silver stacking strategy for a reason. We're supposed to be strategizing. So anyways, I like this article because they dive into some very trusted data from Oxford Economics and the Silver Institute. So these aren't just theoretical numbers. I like going off of data. Numbers don't lie. So here we go. Silver demand in 3 key sectors expected to nearly double in the next decade. This was written on November 9th by Shift Gold. Silver demand for industrial applications, jewelry production, and silverware fabrication is expected to nearly double over the next 10 years. And the interesting thing about this is when we look at the industrial applications, it's not something small, right? We're talking about massive industries, solar panels, 5G towers, electric vehicles. I just made a video a couple of days ago. Their AI technology is supposed to now boom silver demand because of the chips inside of them. And as we advance in this new digital era, we need so much silver. And it seems like every day a new article comes out saying another reason why we're going to need more and how it's going to boost production in the next 10 years. So anyways, according to a report from Oxford Economics, commissioned by the Silver Institute, which I call the holy grail of information, the demand in these 3 key sectors is forecast to increase by 42% between 2023 and 2033, and we're already hitting record-breaking supply deficits. We've just now started. We're just entering this whole new frontier, and we could barely keep up already. Looking for scraps. LBMA LME and the COMEX all admitting their vaults are near empty. Nobody's selling it, right? We're all holding it. Recycling won't put a dent in this, but the main picture I want you guys to understand is if you are selling in the next couple of years, let's say silver does hit $100 and you're like, hey, I'm rich now. There's so much more potential. I'm not saying silver can hit $1,000, but I'm just saying realistically, look at the numbers. Look at this. 1 + 1 = 2. There's a direct correlation between silver's demand and silver's price. Almost 1-to-1. When demand rises, the price rises. If we know demand is going to be boosting 42% with just those 3 key sectors in the next 10 years, what does that tell us? Demand rising, price rising. It's not rocket science. So industrial, jewelry, and silverware production account for about 3/4 of the total silver demand. And remember, most silver's thrown away. According to the report, industrial demand for silver will increase 46%. This reflects a projected rapid 56% growth in the output of electronics industry. And solar panel production, doubled in the last year or so? It's insane. Manufacturers of electronics and electrical applications are major purchasers of industrial silver. In 2022, these industries consumed about 371.5 million ounces of silver, 67% of the industrial offtake. According to the Silver Institute, the use of silver in solar energy and electric vehicles will help lead this category forwards. According to a research paper by scientists at the University of New South Wales, solar manufacturers will likely require over 20% of the current annual silver supply by 2027. Did you just hear what that said? I think that flew over a lot of our heads. Probably not yours, because I feel like you're a pretty smart person, man or woman, but according to a research paper by scientists at the University of New South Wales, solar manufacturers, just solar, will likely require over 20% of the current annual silver supply by 2027. By 2050, it will use approximately 85 to 98% of the current global silver reserves. Just solar. The evolving demand for silver and brazing alloys will also help drive industrial demand. These processes make up 99% of global industrial demand in 2022. And when we're going over these massive numbers, I want you guys to remember there is a direct correlation between silver demand and the supply. When demand rises, the price rises. When demand drops, the price drops. So it's no-brainer that as demand is going to be booming. We exceeded 1.21 billion ounces this year. Imagine how many billions of ounces it will be by the year 2030. 3 billion ounces? Who knows? And we definitely can't keep up with that. What does that also tell us? Low supply, high demand does what? Pushes the price up. Silver demand set records in every category in 2022. Meanwhile, supply was flat, with mine output dropping 0.6% to 822 million ounces. Remember what I just said? 1.21 billion ounces was the demand, but the production was 822 million ounces. We are hundreds of millions of ounces in the red. And how many billions of ounces will it be by the year 2030? But we can only dig up, 850 million ounces on a very good year? Record global silver demand and a lack of supply upside contributed to last year's 237.7 million ounce market deficit, which was I was just mentioning, which was the second consecutive annual deficit in a row. Silver Institute called it possibly the most significant deficit on record. See, when I say this stuff, I'm not making it up, folks. Things are a lot more extreme than I think people realize. And anyone who says otherwise, don't look at the data. Isn't it funny that anytime someone says anything like there's enough silver, they never show any data. They're just speculating. But then someone who does say it shows the actual data, the actual numbers below ground supply versus above ground supply versus global demand. I mean, you can't argue with someone that shows numbers without having proof yourself. It is also noted that the combined shortfalls of the previous 2 years comfortably offset the cumulative surpluses over the last 11 years. That is insane. The price of silver does not reflect the current supply and demand dynamics. In fact, silver is significantly undervalued right now. One analyst called the current price in the $20 range inexcusably low. And that is, of course, because a lot of corrupt stuff going on between the COMEX, JP Morgan, price manipulation, spoofing, you name it. It's important to keep in mind that while silver is an industrial metal, more fundamentally, it is money. Despite being more volatile in the short term, silver tends to track with gold over time, and if you are inclined to think the Federal Reserve will lose the inflation fight, you should be bullish on both gold and silver. And at some point, investors will have to reckon with shrinking supply of silver coupled with rising demand, which I always talk about, along with the Fed's inability to bring inflation back to its 2% target. What then happens? The price of silver will likely take off. This paragraph right here, this sentence is exactly why someone who says silver has no potential, silver's dead, why are you wasting your money? They don't think about this. They just look at the price, what the price has done over the last couple of decades, and that's as far as their thought goes. But when you look at shrinking supply, rising demand, Fed's inability to bring inflation back to its target, price of silver will likely take off. Given the supply and demand dynamics, the skewed silver to gold ratio, and the likelihood that the Fed will not beat price inflation, $22, $23 looks like a great buying opportunity, right? Silver is extremely undervalued. If you're going to buy something, you want to buy it before the curve. Buy low, sell high. Don't buy high, pray it goes higher. That's gambling. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. Gamblers throw money at the wall, hope it sticks with the odds highly against them. Investors tweak those odds in our favor by looking at information. This information is why it's called a silver stacking strategy, why it's not called gambling. Anyways, folks, I really want you guys to understand silver isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not even about getting rich. Silver is what makes you rich. Silver is the wealth. Even if silver doesn't hit triple digits, even if it does, that just means the dollar has collapsed so low in purchasing power, it just takes more dollars to equal an ounce of silver. It's not silver necessarily going up in price, it's the dollar's price going downwards. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I hope you do. Because once you realize silver's true value and understand the dollar's true value, then you truly get what it means to be a silver stacker. If not, you're going to need validation and confirmation that the price can go higher. When it doesn't do that, you start to lose faith, then you start to get weak hands, and that's when people panic sell, right? Panic sell. Anyways, it's interesting stuff. I love articles like this. If you guys want to check out those deals from Miles Franklin, remember info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know I sent you there. More very big, exciting stuff. 2024 is going to be such an exciting year. A lot's happening. I'm about to get get the keys for my new place tomorrow, so I'll have a new office studio set up. Very fun times await, and I promise if you're subscribed to this channel, you will have tons of new content, tons of new giveaways, just everything. Very exciting stuff. If you've been with me for a while, then this is just another huge chapter upwards. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video. Make sure you subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.